here. Come on in. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're giving my channel a chance. Please feel free to like it, to comment, to subscribe, share it, all of those things. And I know you, and you, and you, you're coming back. And you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, for those that are new, what we do when we get ready to rest, we have a little routine that we do, and we do it so that we train ourselves to relax, okay, to rest, to sleep, to calm. Now, the first part of this for getting ready to relax or to sleep is get your lighting the way you like it. Now, I haven't lit my candles today. I lost the clicker. It's somewhere, but until I find it, I'm not lighting them right now. But you can have your lighting any way you want it. Light or dark, a sliver of light, a night light, even a sleep mask. No lit candles. That's Aunty Angel's only rule, okay? It's dangerous. Battery operated ones are great. You can get them at the dollar store. And you can have a whole bunch of them and make it look nice and very ambient. Ambient. That's the word. Okay, so once you have that done, then you need a comfortable spot. And that can be a bed, a chair, a couch, a chaise, a hammock, cushions on the floor, whatever makes you feel good. But relax into it. Sink into it. Really, really relax. Get yourself covered up if you need a cover. That's up to you. And then we're going to do our breathing. Now, for you guys that are new, we do this breathing whenever we want to rest or relax or calm or stave off some anxiety, or when we just need that moment to take back a moment for ourselves. You know, when everything's chaos around us, we just say, we're worth a moment and we're taking it. So what we do is we breathe in for a count of 4. We hold it gently for a count of 4. And then we breathe out through pursed lips for a count of 4. Now, unfortunately, guys, because I've been sick, I can't do the 4 right now. And that's okay. And if you can't do the 4, that's okay. You do what you can do, whether it's 1 or 2, 5, whatever. So I'm going to count, and you guys are going to do it, okay? So let's breathe in through our nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. Good job. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. Last one. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. And out. Very, very good. You guys did great. I do have the fan on because it's really hot in here. And I thought we'd read some Attitude of Gratitude books, one of the chicken soup books. And again, for you newcomers, we read these books. Well, right now we're reading them because I like positivity, but I picked books that don't have pictures so that you can just close your eyes and drift. And I can just read to you and you can fall asleep. You don't have to keep watching the screen. And I do look down while I read because my glasses will glare otherwise. And I can't read without my glasses. So, and I never choose the stories ahead of time. I just open the book, although we're getting through quite a few, but I do have a new book. Because I believe, you can believe in whatever higher power you want. I have faith that I will open this book to a story that someone needs to hear. Maybe it's you, maybe it's you, maybe it's you, maybe it's me. That's happened. So if you're ready, close your eyes and let's start reading. Okay, shower curtain liner. And the quote is, "Everything we need to fulfill our true destiny always comes to us at the perfect time. But spirited awareness is required to recognize these gifts and opportunities." Anton Saint Martin. okay? I am a morning person. By 7, I've eaten breakfast, had the second cup of coffee, washed the dishes, taken my shower, and put on makeup. Then it's on to the household chores. One early morning, I was scrubbing the bathtub and wiping down the shower curtain, as well as its liner, when it hit me. My budget was so limited that I was actually forced to scrub a $2 plastic liner because I didn't have a few extra dollars to buy a new one. I couldn't believe it. Grumbling, it isn't how I would normally choose to start the day, especially when the sun is shining. To cheer up and continue the day a bit more optimistically, I left the chores for later, and I set out for my daily walk at the beach a little earlier than usual. The local shops had not yet opened. All was quiet, as the only other people nearby were dog walkers, joggers, and students on their bikes. Along the way, through the downtown area, something on the sidewalk caught my attention. From a distance, it appeared to be a package of some sort. I walked over and picked it up. Upon examination, it turned out to be a small brown paper bag with no markings. It had neither a name nor address on the bag. I could put it in front of the appropriate store for the owner to find it, but there was nothing to notify. Without a name, there was absolutely no way to tell which store it had come from. The downtown stretched on for at least 8 or 9 blocks with stores, restaurants, and coffee shops on both sides of the main street. Grocery stores, furniture shops, bakeries, salons, banks, churches, discount stores, clothing, and other businesses lined the streets. But none had opened. It was far too early. All this meant that the item had most likely been purchased by someone the evening before. It would not be possible to figure out who they were or where it might be found. Since it was near the curb, I assumed someone must have dropped it, perhaps while loading other bags into their car. There was nothing left to do but look inside the bag, and maybe there was information there. The item inside was wrapped in clear plastic with no writing on it. As it turned out, I was looking at the back of the package. So I flipped it over to see if there was any kind of identification on the front. No store name, but the brand markings on the front clearly specified what the product was. Believe it or not, it was a shower curtain liner. Speechless, I turned it over many times in my hands. It was a brand new, unopened shower curtain liner. I just happened to be the person who walked by and found the package on the sidewalk by the curb. I don't know how someone else would have reacted in this situation. It even took me a few minutes to decide what to do. I didn't want to claim something that didn't belong to me. Were it more a valuable item, I would have brought it to the police station, but I suspected the police would have a good laugh over me trying to return a $2 shower curtain. I decided I could keep it. But I was still stunned because just a few minutes prior, I had been at home complaining about this very same item. The worthless plastic liner that needed scrubbing and inspired my grumbling and early morning walk had suddenly transformed itself into a gift that was left on the sidewalk just for me. How that moment brightened my day. One could say it was just an amazing coincidence. No argument there. It absolutely was. Likewise, one could say that it was a blessing sent from heaven above. Again, no argument there. It absolutely was. Having said that, I am certain of a few things. At home, inside the confines of my bathroom, my focus was exclusively on myself, my anxieties, my troubles, and my needs, as well as my limits in being able to fix the problem. Once outside, thinking of the ocean and life across the horizon, I relaxed in the perspective of a much bigger picture, one that reached out across the ocean and all the way up to heaven. In so doing, my personal grumblings changed to thankfulness for the beauty that extended before my eyes and the manna from heaven in the form of a brand new shower curtain liner. By the way, it matched perfectly with the color scheme and accessories in my bathroom. June E. Taylor. That's actually really nice. Okay, here's another one. called Rock On. And the quote is, "People appreciate and never forget that helping hand, especially when times are tough." Catherine Pulsifer. After a year of isolation due to COVID, my husband and I were looking forward to a few days away. We had talked about all the things we would do when life was normal again. Dining out, traveling, seeing friends. We chose to travel to the shores of Lake Michigan. We both love being by the water, and I am an out-and-out rock hound. There is no place quite like the Michigan shoreline for beautiful rocks and fossils. My husband is disabled, so I try to share as much of my adventures as possible. He is patient and enjoys seeing whatever I can share with him. My long-term goal was to find a Petoskey stone, which is a fossilized coral. It is the state stone and only found in the area. But by day 3, I was feeling that familiar disappointment. I had found an abundance of beautiful rocks for my collection, but I was missing the most important one. I pulled out of one more roadside park on the shoreline and headed for the town of Petoskey. Surely they would be plentiful there. If not, I would head home empty-handed one more time. About a half hour down the road, my cell phone rang, and somebody asked if it was Carol. I hesitantly said yes. I was in no mood to be bothered by a telemarketer. The caller introduced herself as Connie and said she had found my suitcase in the middle of the highway. I could not believe it. I had not even labeled our luggage. I pulled over and walked to the back of my pickup. The tailgate was hanging wide open. Not one other thing had fallen out except the suitcase, which had not been disturbed since early morning when it was stowed and the tailgate was firmly shut. Connie happened to find a 3-year-old tag from a resort in Florida that was still attached to the handle. We arranged to meet up and I thanked her profusely. It would have been a poor trip without clean clothes. The suitcase also had my husband's wallet. I offered Connie a reward, but she refused to take it. We made polite small talk and explained that I was most likely distracted because I was on a mission to find a Petoskey stone, and I was failing miserably. She said she wanted to show me something and opened the trunk of her car. In an array of small buckets, she had various rocks and minerals, including Petoskey stones. I was in awe of them. She said if I wanted to find Petoskey stones, I should follow her. About 20 minutes down the road, we pulled into another roadside drive and walked down to the shore. She quickly found a small Petoskey stone, and afterwards I kept finding those camouflaged fossils all on my own. Since that time, I have learned that Connie and I have much in common. We both love writing, family, and rock hunting. Connie was being treated for cancer. Her outcome sounds promising. To get through the stress and treatments, much of her time is spent at the shore, and I get this. The sound of the waves and the beautiful blue waters have a way of taking the stress out to sea. I pray for Connie daily and hope that my support can repay her for her kindness. I believe in divine intervention, because none of this seems to have happened by accident. Everything happened for a reason. I found the secreted Petoskey stones thanks to Connie's help. My luggage fell out without explanation and was not damaged. It was returned thanks to a forgotten old tag with my phone number. A kind and honest person was on the road at the right time and decided to stop and rescue the luggage rather than go on with her day. The chance meeting of a special person, under the strangest of circumstances, was uplifting to both of us in different ways. Instead of remaining strangers, we found that we share common bonds, and that serving others in small acts of kindness bring us together in a very big way. When I see my Petoskey stones, they now mean so much more to me. I was truly gifted, and that's the only time before or since that my tailgate has ever opened without a struggle. Carol Ann Lake. Okay, here's another one. Last one for tonight, guys. Sergeant Navarro. A hero is someone who gives his or her life to something bigger than themselves. Joseph Campbell. Can some of you take a little time to write to him? He's having such a rough time. Bella's words immediately touched my heart. She was writing about her nephew, Sergeant Jose Navarro, a young man who had been wounded in Afghanistan and was now at Walter Reed beginning what would be years of surgery and therapy. I became acquainted with Bella through an online religion and spirituality forum and its companion social media site. I had been taking part in the forum for a few years and had formed a number of friendships. The spiritual dimension of the forum appealed to me, finding as I did that people seemed to have a need to express the good in themselves. Given such a forum, people seemed to open up without hesitation and to be able to lean on each other. And now Bella was asking some of us, a few people whom she trusted, to write to her nephew Jose. He had been in an ambush while out on patrol with his troop and had suffered extensive injuries. This young man now faced an even greater battle than he had in Afghanistan. With the contact information provided by his aunt, I wrote to him, all the while wondering what I could possibly say to do or help. My background did include experience with individuals facing challenges in their life. I had previously worked for a decade with patients dealing with Alzheimer's disease, and I had spent more time with people fighting HIV, but this was something new. I decided to write Jose as I would write to anyone. I wasn't exactly a shy person and was never at a loss for words. I would let Jose decide how much he wanted to share, and I would let him set the pace. Jose was immediately opened by all that he had gone through and continued to go through. His wounds were horrific. At one point he posted pictures on the forum that showed extensive damage to his legs, and I was heartbroken to think of this young man caught up in the carnage of war and his life now shattered. One of the most difficult things he shared with me was his mourning over the fact that he could never father children. My privates got pretty messed up, he said, and that was the summary of his lost future. Inevitably, a lot of our correspondence pondered a reason for everything he had gone through and was going through. I knew I couldn't give him an answer to that question, but I tried to help him see that he could find his own answer. Joe, I'm not sure what I would say that you were singled out, or that somehow God marked you for this to happen. I do think that you can use all of this to make a reason for your future. You can be in control of how these experiences help you to reach out to others. You are still a soldier, Joe. Your brothers need you, and that will never change. You will be able to help so many of them because you've been there. I don't know how it will all happen, but I can guarantee that you will be right there beside them in combat on a new battlefield, one that is every bit as important as overseas. Joe, I know that it is hard to see right now, but your soldiers need you more than ever. Don't give up. Hang in there because they won't make it without you. I tried anything I could think of to cheer up Jose, and a lot of the time we just talked about inconsequential things, silly things. I never wanted him to feel as though I wrote to him out of pity. In truth, I enjoyed writing him because he was an intelligent, warm individual. He was funny. He still had plans for the future. He was so much more than just a casualty of war, and I didn't want him to think that he had been written off one hot day in the mountains outside of Kabul. He deserved more than that. He deserved to be defined by more than one terrible moment in his life. He took part in the forum with some hesitation, and I tried to get others to make him a part of it. Ultimately, though, too many of the others on there let it get in the way. They saw him only as someone who'd been injured. As he put it, it stinks that people can't forget about my injuries. I'm sure as hell trying my best to forget about it all. I remember to let him set the pace and share what he felt comfortable. I didn't talk about his experiences unless he did. He opened up about little things, such as his love for birds. He hoped one day to open an aviary and breed birds. I sent him one of my drawings, a parrot made just for him. He also jumped right in when the forum got in the spirit for Halloween. I photoshopped the profile pictures of those taking part into appropriate ghoulish characters. I wasn't sure if he wanted to participate, but he was enthusiastic. So I made his picture into a zombie soldier. Oh, I love it. That's me, undead. You can't kill Sergeant Navarro. I count that as one of the happiest moments of my life. Over time, as Jose's therapy progressed and he wasn't confined to bed as much, he didn't answer back quite as often, and I knew that his life was moving on, and I accepted that this was as it should be. His brothers and sisters in service needed him, and the day that I read about him taking part in a new military exercise, Operation Proper Exit, I knew that he had found his reason for the future. In Operation Proper Exit, Jose returned to Afghanistan and reunited with the soldiers on the battlefield. He, along with other returning wounded men and women, took his proper place among his comrades. I saw pictures of Jose standing proud in his uniform, striding from his helicopter and shouldering his weapon. There was Jose smiling as he posed with the others, and there was Jose with his arms around a soldier in a field hospital. Jose had been there before, and now he was back to help another young man who had found himself with an uncertain future. They needed him. He was still a soldier, and he was still doing his duty, still on a battlefield. I cannot express deeply enough for the privilege that I feel that I have been blessed in being allowed to share part of Joe's life. Sergeant Navarro has an armful of medals testifying to his valor and commitment, but none of them do justice to his warrior heart. He continues to fight, a comrade in arms, always at the ready, a soldier you can depend on. Jose was right. You can't kill off Sergeant Navarro. Jack Byron. Okay, you guys.